You can just put Goodfella Ben on there too if you want.
Goodfellow.
Shoot, you can put the man with no name on there for me.
My God.
I'm this anonymous enigma floating through.
Or
Floating
two
through
of
with a nice radio voice. Yeah. One word, one man.
One word,
One
one
word.
man. The good fella himself.
But two movies.
Yeah,
the two movies.
you're a two-movie guy.
But two movies.
Two whole movies.
Yeah.
Two movies.
I was like, how can I do it? My attention span without going through TikTok. I mean, this is a pain. It's like,
Low-key,
how?
I was like, shit. Two movies? What the fuck am I gonna do?
Luckily, our gracious host, he was kind enough to let me scroll through TikTok for 5 minutes, every
Exactly.
20 minutes throughout the movie.
I at least when we were going through funny games, I would be like, okay, Ben, so this is what's happening here, or I'm gonna roll back this scene for you just so you can
Right.
watch this one.
He'd be like, here.
The other ones you can scroll through.
You show me a meme. He would show me a meme, and then I would,
Right. Well, I
like wake me up almost, and I'd be able to continue the movie.
I would put the meme right next to the screen, so you would look up, and then you would forget that you were supposed to look at a meme, and then you'd be like, oh, there's a movie on. What's this all about?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm staring off into the corner, and then you put the meme in my direction and walk over until I lock into the screen. Oh.
Oh, yeah.
21st
Or you know how
century.
like
man.
on TikTok, like they're like you can like watch scenes of movies now. Like there's accounts like specifically like showing you like Marie Antoinette in like 5-minute pieces. You could have just done that.
Right. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
saw.
just DM him a movie throughout the week. Dude, you got to see this. Have you seen this TikTok clip? I think it's a continuation from the last one.
So clarification, I didn't watch the movie per se, but I saw 8 parts of it randomly on TikTok at different times throughout the day. So I kind of get the gist of it more or less.
That's the best way to watch a movie lately. It's through 5-minute segments on TikTok through a playlist.
Yep.
It's hilarious.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cinema Span. I am your host, Louis Hilligus IV. We are covering the movies of 2007.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Today we've got a horror double. These are two 2007 remakes. To join me, I have got PJ Volk.
Hi.
Hey, Paige, what up? Thanks for joining us. And then we also have the man who needs no introduction, Ben Hrycak. Good fella.
Hrycak.
Ben Hrycak. I said that right.
Hrycak.
Hrycak.
Shout out Ukraine. Not the war.
Come on, Louis. That's your roommate.
The two remakes we are talking today are Halloween and Funny Games. First up, we got Halloween. This remake is directed by Rob Zombie. One of the there's a lot of remakes of Halloween.
There's a lot of Halloweens out there.
Yeah.
It always comes once a year. You know?
They all have
It's a holiday.
basically all of the Halloween films have like a very convoluted timeline. This is actually one of the few clean entry points because it's a full reimagining of the series.
Yeah, right.
What are your thoughts on Halloween, guys? PJ, have you seen any of these films? Do you have a take on the franchise overall?
I love Halloween. That's like probably one of my favorite like horror movie franchises of all time. Like John Carpenter was really in his fucking bag with the first one. Like, right? He directed that? Am I crazy? Yeah.
No, of course.
Yeah. I love all the other movies too. I especially like the third one a lot. I don't know if you guys have seen that. I think it's called like
Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. I caught that last year, and that also is one of my highlights for this franchise.
Oh, good. Yeah. So like, I agree with you. I think it's totally like super clean. Like, I think I read somewhere that Rob Zombie actually like talked to John Carpenter about this, and John Carpenter was like, just make it your own, I'm like, that's fine. And he did that. Like,
yeah, well, that it's funny you bring that up because that was Carpenter's original take, was that he didn't want this to be one long franchise that was all about Michael Myers. He wanted each movie to be its own thing. I think that's why we probably identify Halloween 3 as one of our favorites, because it is one of the only anthology stories within the franchise. Right. Yeah. And they tried to do a story without Michael Myers, and it kind of just you know, it failed. People wanted Myers in, you know, for the branding. So
they wanted Michael.
Yeah. The people need Michael.
I've actually only seen the Rob Zombie films when it comes to Halloween.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I love I love those films growing up. So they'd always have them on Stars or like HBO, you know, like those movie channels.
Right.
They would play Halloween and Halloween 2 respectively all the time.
It makes sense. I mean, these are, you know, evergreen movies. Like, you know, Carpenter did this with the original. He's like, I named a movie after a holiday that comes once a year. Right. So every time that holiday comes, like, I am getting paid.
Yeah, you're guaranteed something.
Yeah.
It's amazing. He ate that. He really, like, solidified that check. It's amazing.
It's insane too, because like there's a few other, like, you have Black Christmas,
and then the guy Friday the 13th. He tried.
Well, that guy was cooking because he said
he tried.
What happens throughout the year?
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
like a little bit more niche.
Yeah,
just one day, Friday the 13th.
He's like, there's one really spooky day of the whole year.
He's like, well, Friday the 13th is kind of creepy too, right?
It's
bad luck.
Yeah. You know, 13.
You could be ladders or black cats.
And everyone hates Fridays, of course. I actually, you know, so I have not seen the David Gordon Green Halloweens, and I don't think I've seen any of the Halloween sequels, but I have seen the original. And then I watched this Halloween and Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie sequel.
I see.
This Halloween is basically a remake of the original. Most of the plot line is still intact. I think what Zombie does is mostly, like, where you can tell the differences is this first act. In the original Halloween, the setup of Michael Myers as a killer is basically one scene where we follow Michael Myers from outside of his own house, and then he creeps up on his sister, who's his older sister, who's having sex with her boyfriend, and
sister.
Right. Yeah, he kills them both. But it's it's a great tracking shot. You see Michael pick up the knife. It's all point of view.
But that's it. It's you just see the beginning.
Yeah,
part.
but that is, you know, like Carpenter kind of set up this tone because he doesn't reveal that it's a kid killer until kind of the end when the perspective switches. And I think that just kind of puts you into the mind of the killer in an interesting way from the very first scene of Halloween.
Totally. Yeah.
This one is a whole different type of deal where it's like they're really trying to give Michael Myers a backstory.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
Well, they're like, okay, so like let's show his fucked up family lifestyle, which it almost feels like a little cliche at parts, even the way how hard they hit it, you know, where you're like, okay, I get it, but it works. I don't think it
like when the dad is like,
oh my god, every word out of the
freaking out.
Yeah. Every
constantly freaking out.
Michael. Right. Just like, piece of shit, Michael. You look like a
piece of shit, Michael.
They're like,
and then the chick sister comes. He's like, fucking Michael.
You jacking off again, Michael?
Michael, you freak.
Yeah, I mean,
but the mom's not that though. No, the mom is like a sweet angel to Michael.
But the premise here is like, what if bullying turned you into Michael Myers almost, you know?
Right, yeah.
Like, what if your family sucks so hard?
Well, there also is this weird, there's like a sexual aspect as well. Like, you know, like the first initial killing is when his sister's having sex with her boyfriend in the original Halloween. But like in this one too, his mom's a stripper.
His mom's a stripper.
Everybody knows.
Well, in this one, they even build up on that too, because his first killing is his school bully.
Right.
You know, the family is antagonistic towards him, but we also see his school life isn't so great either.
And we also see he was killing animals.
Well, yeah.
He's torturing animals.
The killing animals is like we've all seen the true crime, like serial killer docs, and we all know that like that's the first, sign.
Yeah,
so,
that's the first step
they're
to
planting
madness.
that, because that's just for like the modern appetite of an audience. But the bully specifically pulls out like an advertisement of his mom from the strip club.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and it's like, like your mom.
So he's seeing his mother
I'm gonna show this
sexualized.
to everyone.
Yeah.
And so like it is interesting how he is inherently tying in the sexuality even more.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's like, he will get to killing his
because it's all this like background stuff to like make you understand where how Michael Myers got to his point.
Right.
Like, you know.
But that's like a discussion you have to bring up with slashers, is just the idea of most of these 80s slashers, sex is punished with killing. And that happens all throughout the plot of Halloween and in this sequel, where different girls are losing their virginity. And Michael Myers is creeping on them and punishing them.
Not today.
Why don't you go to church, maybe?
Yeah.
This is literally.
He's a hero for the incels.
Propaganda.
Sorry, say that again.
He's a hero for the incels. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's like, if I can't have it, no one can.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Joker who, right?
Yeah, Michael tries to get it on too. Like, I think he's putting himself in all these situations just to be like, someone up for a third, you know? Like, you never know.
Yeah, he's trying. Well, it's a story of failed Riz, as the kids would say. You know.
What if you're a bear with no Riz?
Huh?
I said, what if you're a bear with no Riz?
Then you're Michael Myers, man.
Right?
You have no choice.
God damn it.
That's what you have to do.
I mean, Michael, to be fair, does not have Riz. He, especially in this movie, like the Riz is 0, unfortunately.
Yeah, I do think there's something to be said about his level of neutrality, though, where like sometimes he's doing so little that other people are like, "Holy shit, what is up with this guy?"
Yeah,
like
nonchalant guy winning again.
It's like the opposite of star power, you know?
Right.
Like in some ways, where they're just like, "How is he absorbing so much energy right now?"
Yeah, it's like there's this guy and he just kind of like shows up under streetlights and it's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
he's tall. You're 6 feet.
It was like the room was quiet, that's the best part. But now it's quieter.
Oh, you mean the king of the incels, Michael Myers? Yeah,
he's on like
good luck.
4chan.
Yeah, I'm a part of this.
Well, no, I think it's really cool because like, I remember, I think, in one of the Halloween novelizations of the original Halloween, the author gives some backstory and states that Michael is the way he is because of like some sort of like Gaelic curse brought upon him.
Ooh.
That drove him to kill. And that's why like in the first movie, he's just like a normal, ordinary kid.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But with Rob Zombies, it's like he wanted to be like, this is how like a serial killer is born, low-key, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Have you seen the second movie, though?
The second Halloween?
Yeah, from Rob Zombie?
No, I've only seen this one.
Dude, the second one's like wild. Within it, it's like it like starts off with Michael Myers being transported in a truck and it crashes.
Well, it picks up right at the end of this one. So they're driving him to the morgue.
Within his head, there's like this projection of his mother that happens.
Yes.
And it's like very like surreal and like strange.
It's this whole bit.
It's like you have to get, she's telling him to get the child.
Yeah. It's a whole bit with a white horse where it's like, and like the second one gets into trauma, like Lori is Lori, right?
Right. Yeah.
Has all this trauma from like the killing.
Yeah.
And like every time, like the first time Michael shows up in Halloween 2, he's not even there. He like fake kills her and she like wakes up from a dream.
Yeah, that's right. It's about her running through a hospital.
But yeah, then they kind of reframe it like Michael's just trying to kill his baby sister so that he can like put himself to rest and go join his family in the afterlife, which is like,
is that what it is?
Well, that's kind of the idea. It's like
sense.
His mom is like in this graveyard with like all these graves laid out and he's like, can I come? You know, like it's the kid version. She's like, not yet. And you know, she keeps guiding him like towards Lori again. I
haven't seen that since like
I just watched it last night, so
stupid stuff, dude.
Yeah, it's interesting. Definitely an interesting metaphor, and like it feel like, so for me, like my big take on these two films, is that this one is good, and I like when Rob Zombie departs from the original Halloween formula. I just wish he did it more. I think the plot line that he is following from the Carpenter stuff, it just really feels like he's going through the motions. I don't think the cast is as in the pocket either, like the other teenage girls. It's almost like they're making fun of the original movie a little bit. Malcolm McDowell is so interesting because that's like Rob Zombie being like, well, one, fuck, you know, the whole like industry built around, you know, making money off of these killers, like, which I think really sprung up way after the 80s. Like that's something that Carpenter could have never talked about in the original film.
Right.
You know, but like now
people making documentaries and like books.
Well, and like, Loomis essentially like writes a novel about it. And like in the second one, the family's victims are coming up to him and being like, you're a piece of shit. And he's like, he's like, I almost got killed too, which is like a good point. But you're like,
correct me if I'm wrong, but he writes another one.
Another book
in the second one, right?
I tapped out with like 20 minutes left, but he does.
He comes back.
He's promoting the book, and
that's what I'm saying. He's promoting the book.
You think he dies at the end of the first one, but
no, he becomes
survives.
more rich.
Yeah, more rich.
Yeah, this time it actually happened to me.
It is interesting though, because he's
That'll
like, his publicist is like, I don't know how I feel about this, and he's like, we got to go for it,
dude. At that point, it's like, he kind of has the right if you went through it yourself. But he can make that book. Fuck it. Like,
he goes on a late night to like go defend it. And the late night talk show he does has Chris Hardwick as the host and Weird Al as the first guest.
Nice.
So so here I know it's insane. And so Loomis comes out like, please welcome Dr. Loomis, and then he walks out. Weird Al moves seats, like he sits down, and the guy like says something about like, what do you think about people calling you like all these nasty names? And then Weird Al's like, I just write parody songs. I don't think that's called for. Like it's a killer joke. But then they just set him up to like totally fail. Like you expect he's gonna pull out the gun and shoot the host like it's Joker or the comedy.
Right. It's fucked up mainstream media. At it again with my boy Dr. Loomis.
Trying to cancel Dr. Loomis once again.
It all the time,
reporting on the truth, the facts.
Yeah. Which he was.
And he leaves pissed off. Like he thought he could tame the beast of the media.
That he's gonna get past that hippie dude.
Come on, man. No. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to say in your interviews he's a hippie
or something.
Just establish it. Everybody knows that.
The second one's much more fun though, because it at least has taken swings. Like all the killings do feel a little rote towards the second act, the same way this does. Yeah. But at least they're happening like in trailer parks and stuff that feel more Rob Zombie-esque than just like a suburban home. Like you want the grime from this guy. Like the second one opens, the guys who are transporting Michael Myers' body.
Yeah.
Like one of the dudes is talking about fucking a dead girl's corpse. He's like, did you see that chick that got murdered? She looks kind of hot. Like you're like, fuck, like this thing is dark. Brutal. Yeah. Like, and like, that's where they're starting, you know?
Brutal.
Yeah.
Heavy metal though, like Rob.
Love Rob Zombie. He's never afraid to just like take it to like a really disgusting like redneck place, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, PJ, I've not seen any other Rob Zombie films. Do you have it? This was like my first entry point.
I've seen House of Wax is Rob Zombie, right?
No, House of a Thousand Corpses.
Nah, I haven't seen that shit.
I
thought he got Hilton in there. Maybe I have. I don't know.
Give me the quick pitch on Zombie, like
on like a Rob Zombie movie. Well, he really like you said, like I feel like he feels more comfortable in like a trashy sort of like existence. Like when he gets to like a trailer park, that's when shit gets really good. All of his movies, I haven't seen like a few of them, but like most of the time, like he does like to just get really like dirty with it. Like House of a Thousand Corpses obviously is like.
Yeah, what happens in that movie? I might have seen that, but I don't think.
What happens in that movie? I'm like an expert on the House of a Thousand Corpses. Basically, like it's just about like a group of teenagers who end up like crashing at a house full of like a family of like satanic cannibal like maniacs, and like basically like the girl who plays the mom, Sherry Moon, his wife, is in it too. Like in all movies, she's in all of them, but they just play like a family, just like an evil satanic family, and they just kill all of them. It's really good.
That's like a classic formula.
Yeah, that is a very classic
you walk into the house.
Do you know what movie has that formula? House of Wax.
House of Wax.
I thought
you were going to say House Bunny.
Like the Paris Hilton one.
Paris Hilton.
I want to watch that. Is that good?
Yeah, it slaps.
Tell me it's good. Okay,
it slaps for sure.
Still plenty of time. Plenty of time in October.
You gotta love Hilton.
You gotta, in some ways, love her.
I was just like, you absolutely do gotta. There's no other option.
Yeah, dude. America's sweetheart.
But yeah, I feel like Rob Zombie movies tend to like go really like brutal. I feel like that's why like the family abuse at the beginning was so like hardcore, because he really likes to exist in that kind of like icky space a little bit.
Yeah, and even the killings, the way he kills everyone in the house, it's very brutal. I mean, he tapes down the stepdad. He tapes down his mouth and his like forehead, and then he like slits his throat so that when he screams, like he's already gagged.
Stills it up, yeah.
Where you're just like, damn, this kid had been plotting that.
I think that's for sure Michael's dad.
No, it's not. He said it's not his dad. They say it specifically.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. Well, like because
the daughter was like, my daddy's in heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still assumed that it was.
I guess
dad.
it could be Michael's dad.
It could be Michael's. Because I thought about this,
and not the sister.
I thought this through. She said that specifically, God. So I figured that's Michael's dad.
That's interesting. I mean,
who's just you're already getting just like some fucked up genes from this guy to begin with.
I like that. I mean, it only improves kind of like the my fiction of the
Call up
film.
Rob.
You know,
Zombo. What is it? Goes to 411 on Michael's daddy.
Yeah, this kid. It's an interesting performance because they kind of don't have him say anything after the killings. Like he's
for a little
he's pretty much just silent.
When do I get to leave?
And they do recast him in the sequel too. Because
do they?
Because the kid has lines in the sequel.
Is the sequel like 2008?
It's 2009. It's 2009. Wow. I mean, they used the same Laurie and the same Loomis and the same.
Yeah, I know they used.
So it's like. Maybe the kid just got too old.
But like a kid
didn't look fucked up anymore.
Yeah, that can happen, dude.
They were like, he cut his hair.
He does look fucked up.
He does, man.
He does.
I mean, yeah.
He was the most fucked up kid, and it was great casting.
You want your kid to be an actor so bad, and then they're like, we're looking for fucked up kids.
Survivor of fetal alcohol syndrome.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, the theories can go on and on. Just all of the theories about Michael Myers are related to like, what kind of drugs or drinking did his parents do when Adam?
I mean, yeah, it's like how many times did he get dropped, right? Or like
100 times over.
Yeah.
Imagine how many times did Boo get dropped, dude? She's always getting held by old Mikey. Boo's probably getting dropped left and right.
No, he takes care of Boo.
Yeah, but still, dude, he was probably always picking her up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to murder everyone unconditionally, except for my baby sister.
Yeah, except for
my baby sister. I
dropped her.
Uh-oh. I indirectly murdered her.
Yeah,
I only do direct murders.
Yeah, indirect murder. Uh-oh.
He's like
damn
Jigsaw.
Yeah, he hit someone with his car.
He's like, it doesn't count if I kill them and they're already limping.
Yeah.
You know, like I gotta start with the stab.
They were gonna get killed already. But can I say the amount of like, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the amount of cameos in this movie was crazy.
There's a lot.
Like
Danny Trejo.
Did you notice the bully is
Danny
Junie from Spy Kids?
Wait, what?
Yes, dude. Yes.
Yeah, Machete.
I saw him and I was like, Junie.
Love a
Junie?
yeah.
Oh damn.
Love a Spy Kids shout out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's from Danny Trejo's from Spy Kids too.
Well, yeah. I mean, but he's in many things.
Yeah. But mostly Spy Kids.
Danny Trejo is so I mean,
mostly he's a spy kid.
Danny Trejo is like playing a janitor at the
who could be a spy
at the
kid.
place.
Mikey's only friend.
Yeah,
Mikey.
Well, I kind of remember thinking back, like when I first watched that movie, that he survived because I remember him being like
the good guy.
Hey, I treated you good, Mikey.
Yeah,
but like Michael Myers did not give a shit.
Nope.
And and I think Rob Zombie's message with that is like, yeah, don't be nice.
Don't be nice to a murderer
because the school shooter, he's not going to save you.
He's not going to save you.
He's going to shoot you too.
Yeah.
Don't be so. You know what? You might as well join in on the bullying.
Don't have any empathy for incarcerated people. That is the message of this film.
That is the message.
Yeah. Maybe kids should be bullied.
No, the message is like, even if your kid is fucked up and weird, he can't be saved. There's no amount of therapy that will help him.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we should euthanize him.
therapists can't get through to kids.
Yeah, if he grows to be like 6'5" and built like a WWE wrestler, maybe we should just take him out.
How do they let that happen?
What the fuck were they feeding him, dude? Yeah, it's like an industrial factory in there, man. Yeah, we're just pumping out like jacked mentally ill people to hopefully join the military one day.
I think he was eating other people.
The first, yeah.
You know, like he must have been eating the other cellmates.
Well, we fucked up. We thought Michael Myers might have been, we could have made the first super soldier. He's related to Captain America in that regard. But obviously we were wrong.
We gave him the super serum, but it made him worse. It made him more of a monster. That is what the whole spiel is with that serum.
What, the Captain America
like
shit?
Little Cap was such a noble guy that like he became even more noble with the serum. But if you gave it to like a bad guy, like the Nazi that took it, he became the Red Skull.
Oh, right.
You know?
Fuck.
Yeah. I'm not too familiar with those movies. Becoming more nobler is a funny idea, though.
Why'd you guys let me talk about Marvel?
I don't know. I thought that's what we did here on Cinema's Fan.
I've seen Captain America. I know what's up.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, so you know, we have the time skip. Michael's 6 foot, 5 now.
He grows.
As a One Piece fan and like a Naruto fan, I love a good time skip.
Time skips are incredible.
Yeah.
If they're planned out well. Because like it's to me, I love nested narratives, and I think they're where it's like a story within a story. Just because of the way the two stories contradict with each other, and that's the whole thing with a time jump is you're contrasting the past with the present. You know,
my only complaint is I wish maybe they give Michael like a mustache or something to show the passing of time.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. That he didn't get a mustache.
Yeah. It's weird that the guy who has a mask over his face 24/7 didn't have like a beard or a mustache to show the passing of time.
Yeah. Also, like,
I think he would. Yeah.
I was like, I get that he got taller and bigger and he didn't look like the kid anymore. But I was like, wouldn't he have a stash?
That's a funny idea is that they were shaving him. Because he actually didn't have like any facial hair.
They were shaving him.
They were definitely shaving him.
Yeah, but his hair is like really shaggy and long.
So he's just chained up, and there's just like that guy who's probably like, Mikey, you're gonna get out of here, you know. Mikey, you gotta go take your head to a different place. He's probably shaving his face while saying that whole spiel.
Yep.
Danny Trejo's character.
You, Mikey, you could get a job interview, maybe.
Mikey, if I were you, Mikey, I would just think about being a spy kid, Mikey. You think about it. Sit in that cell, you could be flying around on an island with little monsters.
Mikey, come on, you could bag groceries.
Mikey.
Just think about it.
Yeah, you could go back to society and bag groceries, Mikey.
And he's like, I would rather kill everyone.
Yeah. Well, the scariest man on earth is needing you to shave his face and hasn't spoken in years.
Oh, my
Mikey,
God.
you look so handsome.
Yeah. King of the incels.
Mikey, no. I shaved your face, Mikey.
I don't even know what he was really doing. I guess he crushed his windpipe or something. I just remember him drowning him, and he just kept throwing up blood. I was like, where's his
It was a confusing death scene, unfortunately. I was a little lost, but...
I didn't write down the details.
Everybody else equally is confused on the throwing of a blood in the water thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. He drowned him until he decided not to drown him anymore, and then he threw like a chair on him or something. Like he picked something up and just
He was really acting like he was in a zoo. Like he was a cage. He was a caged animal, dude.
Just fuck that, man. That's not how you kill a friend.
He was bashing and banging.
PJ, if I had to kill you, dude, I would do it with a lot more empathy.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll say the same for you too. It would be more creative.
Yeah, exactly. Creative but fast. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but really bloody too. Like there's a lot of blood.
I'd appreciate that. I mean, I want it to be showy. I want it to make an impact when people get the news and see what happened. You know?
Tripwire giant log signature of mine.
I mean, if you can't sell the leaked photo to TMZ, you know, then it's not good enough.
Yeah.
If they're not interested.
I photoshopped Selena Gomez next to his dead body, sleeping. What happened here?
Only
TMZ
in the building, season 4.
I'm just a lonely paparazzi. What happened here, TMZ?
Murder victim. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I love the time jump, and I loved, Mikey gets, revenge.
Yeah. Well,
but everyone was so casual with it too. They were just like, what, this guy only got taken to the other thing? Fuck, like,
yep.
This is the murderer. Like, he killed his whole family. Like,
He was huge too, dude. He was gigantic.
Yeah, true. I mean, that is
scary,
like,
man.
That's part of the thing in the first one is that nobody is aware of, like, you know, they're all feeling innocent. But it's like here it feels like people are like cursing God, like, surely you won't kill me today, God. Like that's the tone, you know.
The guy who presses him, he like presses him in the bathroom or something.
Oh, when he's at the gas station.
Oh yeah, at the gas station.
Yeah, he's at the gas station.
The biggest shit of my life right now. You gotta leave me alone.
Oh yeah. He was drawing,
and that's what I was talking about.
So where'd he get off?
The amount of neutrality he has, like, starts fucking with other people. Like at first, this guy's like, "Is this a dick measuring contest? Like, am I gonna have to like, you know, ante up to this guy?"
Yeah.
You know, and then he just kills him. Pretty much the first place Michael goes is the old house where he killed everyone. And he has the mask buried in the floorboards here. And we see him wear the mask as a kid, and the mask looks really good in this one. The mask is actually one of the most infamously hard parts to get right in the franchise. Because they took in the original film, they took these William Shatner masks off of the shelves, like just like Spirit Halloween type shit, and they painted them white. Oh, painted them white. Yeah, so basically, any other sequel that was trying to replicate that mask had a really tough time doing it because they couldn't just get the original source material, and everyone started like from scratch, like they were getting actual mask makers to mold these new plastic pieces. But I think this one, like, you know, when the kid wears it, it looks like he's wearing a movie quality mask, you know, like in Step Brothers when they got the Chewbacca mask on or something. And it's like, it looks too good for what it is. And you're like, but then when Michael's wearing the mask later in the film, it looks incredible.
When he gets it all worn and torn and beat up.
I mean, it just rules. So I think it's worth it when you get to that point, you know?
I agree. Did they ever explain where kid Michael Myers got that mask, or was it just hanging out in his sister's room?
You know, he went trick-or-treating by himself that day, but also I think we're supposed to think about Michael as this mask maker in this version, because when
real Renaissance man.
I mean, dude, during the
that's true,
the
though.
Time jump, you go into his cell and he's surrounded by masks, which I thought was just such a fun why not? Cool. You know, like that's a good way to expand the mythos and like also I don't know, it makes the terror a little more ethereal in the idea that it could be behind any of these masks or personalities or different people.
Which I will say, talking about this movie, it makes me think that Rob Zombie was probably a big fan of Halloween, and that's why he chose to stick it so close to the original, you know? Yeah. But just like add on these small parts or like flavor.
I mean,
might even be his own headcanon.
It's definitely
what
that
he, interprets it.
The franchise was in need of a reboot at this point because they essentially went through about 5 Halloween films, and then they did this reboot called H2O.
It was about a bunch of teens.
No, it's Halloween 20 years later.
And, the camera would talk to them. And they'd be like, well, I like Brad. And they're like, well, no, he's dating him. And they would all go to clubs. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
I think you nailed it.
And then at the very last episode, King of the Incels rolls in.
And you said you haven't seen this movie?
No, I've seen all 5 seasons of it, yeah. Watched it with my girlfriend at one point.
But H2O is iconic because that has Busta Rhymes and Tyra Banks in it.
Oh, see, exactly. This is just like proving my point even more. I've never heard of this movie at all. Just from going off the name, like, this is like a bunch of chicks in a house together, drama. And then queen of it herself, Tyra Banks, is in it. That's insane. Oh, yeah. Miss America's Next Top Model.
You nailed it.
Yeah, so that is what it is.
And Jamie Lee's in it too, I'm pretty sure.
She's the main role.
Yeah. Also known as the Yoplait Yogurt Lady spokeswoman.
Basically,
that's icon of the
can't talk Halloween without talking Yoplait.
We talking Yoplait today?
Right. Actavia, excuse you.
We talking Actavia?
Is it Activia?
Octavia.
Yeah, that's so funny. We had an entire bit on my podcast about her being the spokesperson for Fiber One or Yoplait. It turns out it was Activia this whole time.
You're gonna have to take it back, man.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to burn.
I'm taken aback by that information.
You should just plug in this clip right here.
Right.
Go to episode of Cine's Fans.
Hey, everybody who's listening, sorry for being such a fucking idiot. This is my apology clip for sorry for being such a fucking dumbass podcast host. Wish I could be better, but I can't.
Wait, what do we think of Lori? I have opinions on her.
Lori is
she's on top of the world, dude. She's living a great life, dude.
Yeah, Lori and the other teenagers. Lori and the other teenagers are just not very good. I think they're all a little too young in this version, which was probably intentional. But they just don't have the same dynamic, or I don't buy them being friends when the three of them are just walking down the street.
Me either. I have to say, I feel like in the original, the girlies are just so iconic to me. Yes. All three of them,
they're scream queens.
They are all scream queens.
Yeah, guys, don't drag these girls though.
I'm not gonna drag these girls. I love these girls.
All right, good.
But I will say, I do feel like the Lori for this one does not have as much zhuzh that Jamie Lee has. She's kind of just really it gives me theater kid energy, low key.
It's huge theater kid energy, and
she's going at 100, and I'm you should reel it back a little bit.
It's insane though, because so much she, 2 years later in the sequel, she almost seems like a totally different person.
She's sick in the sequels, dude. She doesn't give a shit.
Well, but she doesn't seem to have that theater kid energy in the that she does. In
she calmed down a little bit in between.
Yeah. But I agree, even the way she's styled in this feels so 07.
She lives such a good
they're curly hair, black lined glasses, she's wearing a plaid shirt. Yeah, this girl is from 2007.
I love it, dude. The 07s are sick as fuck, bro.
It was just the tail end of the Bush era.
Shit's tight.
Yeah.
Pretty fun.
Shout out Bush.
Shout out to Bush.
Good friend of Cinespan.
We have not had enough Bush shout outs yet on this pod.
You know what else came out in 2007? W or GW or whatever that movie.
Came out of office.
Is that movie W?
W. With Josh Brolin.
Yeah. I don't know when that came out.
Iconic.
W.
But also, fun fact, one of the other girls, her name was Danielle Harris or something. She was in one of the Halloweens. The daughter of the sheriff. She was in Halloween 5 as the little sister or cousin to Michael Myers.
Interesting. You're closer than I am, because I haven't even gotten close to Halloween 5.
Yeah,
I haven't. Truthfully, that's one I have not watched.
I haven't even left the Rob Zombie.
I know she's in it.
That's one to watch a video on YouTube about. I'm sure.
Yeah, instead of watching the hour and a half movie, I'm gonna watch a 3-hour video essay on it.
Well, I'll know everything about the movie if I watch the 3 hours.
I'll know everything about this guy's opinion on the movie.
The way I do that, the way I watch this video, I don't need to watch it.
I don't think I'm gonna watch this hour-long movie. I'm gonna watch the 3-hour video essay instead.
Yo, we gotta calm down. We don't want to drive away the base for this.
Right.
No one here watched Rob Zombie's Halloween.
It's true. I hope you do though.
Back to Mr. Zombie himself.
I imagine some of the listeners have heard this one. This is
a podcast. A discussion is different than a video essay, though.
Totally different.
Because I'll watch a movie and be like, okay, I want to see what other people's opinions. And you're going to get differing opinions from a podcast. Whereas a video essay is some guy telling you.
One just opinion.
And he's fluffing it up too. You better believe he's making that. He's making it look nice, that opinion.
He's got 3 points to make. And he's
Halloween by Rob Zombie was mid?
Most mid movie I've seen this year.
4 hours long. It's it probably wasn't that mid if you could talk about it for 4 hours, buddy.
My mid reaction.
Yeah.
My mid reaction to mid movie Halloween.
Yeah.
Did you know there's a Halloween from 2007?
Me neither.
Just title Halloween 07. I don't know what to think about this. 6 hours.
Exactly, dude. Not sure my thoughts on this. 6 hours. Fucking crazy, dude. Pretty mid, not good. 7 hours long. Talked about it for an entire day.
All right, I got one thing I gotta bring up with this version of Michael Myers. I like that he keeps in the bits It feels like Rob Zombie, like it's baked into Carpenter's script already, but there's that bit where he interrupts a couple having sex. He kills the boyfriend when like he's in the living room grabbing a beer. And then he walks up the stairs with a ghost sheet over him, and he pretends to be the boyfriend for a little bit in front of the girlfriend. That scene always makes me giggle in the original.
It makes you laugh.
Well, because he just stands there like he doesn't know what to do.
What are you standing there for?
Yeah.
yeah. That really is that. What are you standing there for? Come over here.
Like, I would be immediately concerned if my boyfriend just showed up with like no words, just like sheet over his head. I would be like, "You're so silly."
Do you know who Michael Myers looks like? He looks like the guy from Hancock, Michelle. You guys seen the movie Hancock? And there's that kid with the long hair, Michelle.
Been a minute.
Not for
it's been a minute.
All right, everybody at home who's seen all of this, like you guys will definitely know what I'm talking about. You'll be like, "That's an insane reference. You're completely correct." Goodfellow Ben of the Fools.
The real Hancock heads know.
Hancock's underrated. It's either a 06 or 08, I think. It's like it's somewhere around.
Definitely in that like range.
Yeah.
My name's Michelle or something.
Damn.
Hair.
I feel like Hancock.
He might have actually been Michael Myers. Now that I think about it, dude, might be the same guy.
Do you think there's an alternate universe where Will Smith plays Deadpool? Because like Hancock feels like this kind of like irreverent superhero.
So horrifying what you just said, Lewis.
No, just think about it. Just think about it. Like,
I've never seen Deadpool.
Well, we already brought up the Joker. You've only seen Deadpool 2.
I've only seen the sequel.
Let's see.
I feel so bad for you.
We got Joker, Michael Myers, Deadpool.
Yeah. Who's on your Incel King Mount Rushmore?
Yeah. Halfway through the pod, just to do a quick Incel tier list.
I think that's pretty good.
For no reason. Because, I mean, it'll lead us into the next movie pretty well.
I'm like, where else are you going to drop your insult talk, you know?
The middle of a movie podcast. Michael Myers.
But you know what? I'm going to say it. I like Halloween Remake. I like it more than the David Gordon Green version.
Peach,
period.
I wanted to catch it before I got to this, and I didn't have time.
You don't need to, please, honestly.
Do you mind ramping a little bit on David Gordon Green in general in his trilogy? Just for the people at home, I feel like some of these people want to hear.
So I'll just start by saying that David Gordon Green, if you haven't heard of him, he's like a monster, low key. But he started off making like really like hit indie films that a lot of people love,
right? And
then he transferred into remaking essentially Halloween.
Well, he did stoner comedies in between. He did Pineapple Express.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But yes, then he went into remaking.
That's a funny transition though. Is like he went from indie films and then he just kind of went down that rabbit hole of remaking Halloween.
Studio.
The pipeline of being a director.
Who among us doesn't get swept up in the IP?
Martin Scorsese has been dodging it for years.
He's the only one that can.
Been dodging that.
They almost got him on Joker too.
Dude,
he's straight up.
Yeah. Really? Yeah.
He almost made that.
But Joker so those remakes, like he essentially like took those movies and was like, everything that happened after the first Halloween is bullshit. Now we're starting after the first one. And, the first movie was okay, but it was just really boring, low-key. Mm-hmm. And it didn't make me want to see the other ones because it's a trilogy. And now, more heinously, he's rebooted The Exorcist.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And he's making that into a trilogy, too. And I just want to tell your listeners, if you're even thinking for a second about seeing The Exorcist Believer, I think you should shoot yourself. I think you would be more in service of crashing your car into a wall than giving that movie a chance. One of the worst movies I've seen all year.
All right, you're gonna have to rank it up against 2007's worst movie. Are you ready?
Yeah. What is it?
Norbit.
Oh, shit.
I haven't seen that, but I feel like that movie actually would be pretty good.
Norbit is terrible. I watched it in February. There was a point that I was staring through the screen. That's my line.
Into the Norbit abyss.
I saw behind the TV screen.
I don't know how that happened when it came out, and dude, I remember thinking it was going to be a banger.
It looks good. It's got a good cast, and then it's Eddie Murphy trying to racist himself. In like
He's
3
trying
different
That
really
rules,
hard,
dude.
too.
That's full journey coded.
Ben, you should watch it, actually.
Yeah,
I take
should
it back.
see it, dude. That sounds awesome. I like
It's
that.
been years since I've seen Norbit, but I will say Norbit has more creativity and like fun than Exorcist the Believer ever had.
It's
So
probably shorter too, so you're probably
it's
good.
probably shorter, and you're probably gonna like chuckle at least once and be like, oh, interesting. You know, Norbit slayed compared to Exorcist Believer. So I'll just say that.
That was perfect. That's all. That's basically my thoughts on David Gordon Green from what I've read on Twitter. So
Yeah. He's an evil, evil man, taking all the best franchises and ruining them one by one.
I do like Eastbound and Down and Righteous Gemstones. Those are all funny, though.
Wait, he's done Righteous Gemstones?
Well, so Danny McBride co-wrote the Halloween movies with him.
Right,
Like, they're
yeah.
kind of like a creative duo. So I think he kind of was like a producer on those too. So
I see.
I think I'm just like
Gemstones.
stay in the comedy lane is all I have to say to him. But,
Right.
You know.
I think so. Stay away from my movies.
Stay away from my movies.
You
Can't ruin my franchises. The Exorcist, which already has 3 shitty sequels. Like
It's really
any of us
bad
gave a
movie
fuck about a
series.
4th bad one.
Fucking add it on. Yeah,
Yeah, like-
I know.
Yeah, it doesn't
William
matter.
Friedkin is throwing up in his grave right now.
Universal spent $400 million on the rights to the franchise, though. And it made $40 million in its opening weekend. So that franchise is dead.
Doomed. They were planning 2 more movies.
Two
They're
more.
like, it's
Two
gonna
more.
be a trilogy.
Yeah. Well, that I think
Rob
that's
Zombie outsold David Gordon Green 100%.
absolutely. I think there's pretty much just the ending of this film left, which is worth talking about. Well, you know, so you know, the confrontation just, you know, ramps up. Michael's killed all of Laurie's friends, her parents, like he gets to her house, you know, the kids get separated from them. Loomis is on the scene. And they, you know, they get flipped over the balcony. There's a fake death, all this. It all just ends with Laurie holding a gun above Michael Myers' head, you know, and like, and it's a revolver. So like 3 of the shots have already been fired, and she like goes to pull the trigger, and it takes till the 4th pull for her to kill him. And when she does, it's like blood covers the entire screen. The sound, the you know, the ringing of the gunshot in your ears kind of overtakes the sound design, and she is just screaming like absolute terror. Like my life is fucked.
Scream Queen or no?
This moment, she sells this moment. She
becomes
actually, yeah, she's annoying in the rest of the film though, which I would rather she's having fun than be annoying, if that makes sense.
You know, yeah, I love that scene too, because it was very kind of like end of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where the final girl is just like, yeah, like in the back of the truck, like it's just, you know, she's been through it, she's got to release it. Yeah. I love that,
but it's so good too, because like this is so much more fucked up than the other Halloween endings, because like the original Halloween has a very classic ending where Michael Myers falls off the balcony. And then they turn around and they're like, well, at least we're through with that. And then they turn around and he's gone.
He's gone.
You know, and that's just fun. Like, oh, he might be out there still. But like this just leaves you with like the weight of what these events are forever going to impact these characters. And I think that's like what lets the second one go so heavy into trauma, is that they sold this ending.
Yeah, totally. It's interesting because it's like, I feel like that's what Rob Zombie was trying to do with this remake, essentially, is like, you know, Michael Myers killing like his whole family or whatever, like in the first one is kind of just like, ooh, that was so spooky. But in this one, like, you know, the town is affected by it. Like everyone is kind of like just affected by this horrid tragedy. And then like people get murdered way more violently and like sadistically. Yeah. Like it's more true to life, I guess.
It is. I think you're right. I mean, it's the whole true crime element we were talking about earlier too, where it's like build in that he was killing these animals and that he had a troubled life. Like all the details are there, but it is still that classic Halloween story. Which is probably why this like holds up as just you could turn this on.
Flavor.
Yeah.
A little bit of flavor.
Well, I mean, I love that it came to you as your only entry point for Halloween. Like I feel
Yes,
like
sir.
it's probably been that movie for other people.
Thought it was the original Halloween up until last week.
right.
It's like, no.
You would have never known.
You would
I
have
had no idea.
And you don't even know about H2O, bro. You've never heard of H2O.
No. Pretty sure you know what H2O
is.
Yeah, you know what H2O is? It's it's like an 18 plus club down the beach where I'm from.
Oh,
That's
damn.
my
They're gonna say
H2O.
2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen.
It's that as well.
Yeah.
The only H2O I know
H2O.
is the ocean.
Yeah, right.
The beautiful waves.
Yeah, I don't know about nothing about that clean water.
Yeah,
just know that's salt
water.
Well, that's funny that you say that though, because I guess like the other movie we're talking about, Funny Games, like that Funny Games with Naomi Watts is the only Funny Games to me. That's my entry point.
Ooh, yes.
The Funny Games.
That's a good segue.
You know.
Although I think before we get into this, we should take a quick little break for the viewers
Yes.
at home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Commercial break.
Yeah. We'll be right back, everybody.
Ooh, what is that cup? Oh, Thor cup. Yes.
Got my Thor Ragnarok cup that I got from the Megaplex in Salt Lake.
Oh, cute.
You know they got those Megaplex cups.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, all my Utah cinephiles know about those Megaplex cups. You know, the
Everybody
real
knows
big
about
ones that got
Megaplex.
the poster on them. You know what I'm talking about?
They're big. They feel kind of funny, but we love them.
My boys out for the MCU films on opening weekend to get the Thor
They're like-
cups. Who's gonna get the
like-
Thor cup?
Yeah, bye, boy.
Like, it's my boy Thor. He's got a short haircut now.
Yeah, they put Thor's short haircut on the cup, so I kind of had to get it.
My favorite superhero story.
I also got the long haircut cup from the last movie.
If Thor gets another haircut, I think I'll get another cup. But we'll wait and see. If he keeps the same haircut, I don't think I should get a cup. But if he gets a new cut, maybe a buzz cut, that would be really cool.
I think I got a lot of cups already.
Dear MCU, I really like Thor's haircut, but I think he needs a new one.
Extensions.
All right, let's do it. Let's rip it.
Rip
That was just a
it.
great bit. I might keep all that in, anyways.
Behind the scenes smoke break.
And then we'll get into that movie, Funny Games.
Okay, well, yeah.
That fucking movie, Funny Games.
That fucking movie.
You know, I won't lie. Some of the games were kind of funny.
Yeah.
Not just me, but I was laughing throughout most of this.
I was giggling a little. I was like, these games are kind of funny. Just a little bit, but not that much.
Not as funny as Squid Games.
There were some, Funny Games was Squid Games before Squid Games was a thing. If you think about it.
Yeah, the squid didn't know how to be funny, until kind of the Funny Games came out here and defined what that was like,
The funniest part about Squid Games is at the end when he manages to get away and stuff like that. He dyes his hair red. It's like he's gonna go back there. Like he's officially become like an anime main character. That's what that symbolizes for me is when he dyes his hair red.
I love that.
He officially becomes an anime main character and he's ready to do what
that's so
anime main
accurate.
characters do.
That is very accurate. And then we never heard from him again. And then they were just like, oh yeah, whatever.
The manga got
Like,
canceled.
no season 2, nothing.
Well, they were like, oh, we could turn this into a reality show.
That's all that matters, I guess.
That's what they did, right?
Well, yeah, I know.
Like Mr. Beast.
Maybe I'll watch.
No, well, Mr. Beast did a separate thing. Then Netflix also turned it into a reality show.
Damn.
Which is like boring. None of them are gonna die. Like,
Or are they?
Or will they? Coming to Netflix. Funny
the first
Squid
live
Games.
murder show ever.
The first show where the contestants will die.
The Hunger Squid Games.
Hungry Squid Games. Coming this fall. Coming this holiday season.
With guest judge Jennifer Lawrence.
Coming Christmas Day.
It would be a
Hunger
Christmas
Games
release.
Squid Games.
Jesus.
Hunger Games versus Squid Games.
You're gonna die.
Subtitle, Game On.
Versus?
And it's
Oh my
also got a
God.
little bit of real world in there.
Yeah. Today's celebrity guest judge is Zac Efron. Woo!
Yeah, celebrity.
True dat.
Hosted by Ryan Seacrest.
Host of everyone's favorite game show.
Hosted by
Ryan
two
Seacrest
Swedish
would host
boys.
it.
Yeah.
Wait, you're wearing a Halloween shirt, Lewis. Well,
Oh yeah,
partly Halloween.
I am. No, it's got a. I'll show it off for the camera.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween. 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 Halloween.
Are there?
I like the front though because it's got like all the different masks from the different iterations.
Wait, is Billy there too from Saw? Am I right on that, or is that a different person next to the skull?
No, these are different Halloween masks from the different ones. So like you've got the one from like Season of the Witch, and then you've got like the new movie, the old one. Wow. That's like the clown mask. I'm not sure which this one is. It's probably from one of the ones I haven't seen.
Mixing in the old with the new.
A little bit of new. Speaking of a little bit of old and a little bit of new, everybody, we are talking about funny games, but we are talking about the 2007 remake directed by Michael Haneke. Now, this is a bit different than our other last remake because this is the same director. Essentially, Michael Haneke, writer-director of this, envisioned this story as an American horror story, nothing to do with the FX series. But sorry, I had to.
Yeah, fuck American Horror Story.
If anyone here has takes on American Horror Story, it's gonna be PJ. Like
good or bad.
He's seen pretty much all of it, right?
Dude, I've seen some of it and it sucks. I'm sorry.
You're right.
It's bad.
You're so right. No, you don't have to apologize to anybody. Yeah. That show is a menace.
And Ryan Murphy is a hack.
Oh yeah,
a demon.
He's a hack. Not even a demon. I can't even give him that credit, dude. He's on like a level of like Hillary Clinton or something like that, dude. He's just a hack. He's a creative hack, dude. Don't put him in like the same breath as like these these people running the world.
Imagine if Ryan Murphy though made the remake to Funny Games.
Oh my God, no.
No.
Oh,
how much like Netflix is going to give him like $100 million.
That movie it's a good movie and I did enjoy it, but it is a step away from being that in some aspects of like.
I think his version of this, like, I mean, we'll get into more of all this, but like essentially it would have been a lot more gratuitous. He would have been showing everything and not, and whereas this movie would have been very pulled back, in the way it depicts its violence.
Right, which it is like
happens
it's
off
comedy.
Screen.
I would say, in some ways.
Oh, yeah.
The name, like you said, there's funny parts. Like the name "Funny Games" is.
There are not funny parts. Get out of here! You gotta stop that. I will not let that bit
go. Some of the dialogue that the two Swedish guys like say is just like they're so like how you say they break the fourth wall in the movie. Like they're just like not even there. Like I don't know. They're almost self-aware of being characters within a movie.
Yeah, they do feel like they're outside of the narrative.
They are
in a lot of ways.
That's why they kept them as.
I think though, if you were laughing at what they are saying, it's because you feel uncomfortable, and it's because you don't know how to process the emotion. I truly think I don't.
True.
The tone of this is so perfect that like I wouldn't call it funny.
No, it's not a dark comedy.
At many of those points. Whereas like a movie like Us, which is much more ambiguous with its plot. When I was in the theater for that, people were laughing to my right and they were gasping to my left, and I truly felt like they were both, like valid responses to what was going on.
I don't know, man, dude. Tubby, dude, he's a funny guy.
Tubby is fun. There's some funny bits making fun of Tubby. We'll leave it at that. But essentially, this is a shot-for-shot remake of the original Funny Games.
Right.
Which is just an interesting exercise for any director to take. There's been a few shot-for-shot movies. There's
Psycho's one of them.
I was going to say Psycho's a classic. You've got the Psycho is the more usual one where it's like it's a different director picking up the project, and the director said, "I'm only remaking this because if I don't, somebody else will." Yeah, like that's the famous anecdote with that. There was no reason to remake Psycho,
right?
But here
it was going to happen regardless.
Yeah, Michael Haneke got the funding, and he maybe wanted to see it outright in this full American version. And there's kind of this stigma that Americans won't watch, movies unless they're in our language. So maybe
American, yeah.
It's still 07.
In
maybe
some ways,
he still feels
not
that
wrong.
way. Well, I mean,
No,
it's just
yeah.
So I mean, so PJ, you've seen the original, the remake. What's your what's your relationship with this film?
With Funny Games?
Yeah.
So I haven't seen the original. I only know like the 2007 version because like I remember as a kid, like all the time, I was like always like looking up like horror movie trailers, like what's new, and like at the time, like Funny Games was like out, and I remember that trailer was so good. They set it to like a classic like symphony song,
Yes,
or whatever,
like the opening sequence.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I just showed just like these clips of just like this insane craziness, and like just the whole premise of it too. Just like you could be chilling in your vacation home, and then two, just like complete strangers for no reason other than they can come into your house and just like torture you all night and kill you. Like,
yeah.
As a kid, I was just like, that's the scariest thing ever. And then I watched it. I like rented it from Blockbuster, and I was like, I'm an auteur. Like I'm a cinephile. Like I am watching this movie with Naomi Watts, and it's really avant-garde of me, but the whole time I didn't know it was like a shot-for-shot remake.
Yeah,
like,
no, well, that's the thing is I rewatched the original just because I wanted to watch them both, and I figured that maybe someone here would have came at it from the other end of just saying the first and then maybe going back or the second. So yeah, I mean they both pretty much have the same impact. I think the only this one, had a little less of an impact on me just because I was rewatching the same movie like that I had just seen like 2 days ago. Yeah. And in some ways I felt like the acting was a little more naturalistic in the 97 version, but that's just because I knew what these actors were trying to replicate, because in most of the actual like heightened scenes where they're going through the funny games, and there's psychological, terror being inflicted on them. I mean, there everyone was giving a nuanced performance, and this version takes off in its own way, in a good way. But yeah, this is I agree. This is a harrowing film.
It's like
it's sickening.
Pits of despair.
Likewise, you've seen the 07 version, right?
Yeah.
It is just very bleak.
You identified something right, PJ, which is that like this is also a suburban terror movie. Part of the brilliance of the original Halloween was that nobody had made a slasher in the suburbs, where it was just like just think about it. What is separating you from a killer? It's your door, and then also your neighbors are kind of far away from you when you think about it. And if you go knocking on their doors, they might not answer. Because, like, would you answer when your neighbor, did that?
No.
Yeah.
Right. And like, that's the thing that happens in the original. Laurie's, like, pounding on doors. It's literally Halloween night, and nobody will answer the door. Like, the one night of the year, everyone's supposed to say hello.
Nobody is, saying, whatever.
Yeah. And anyways, I think this movie distills something about horror movies. Because it's all about the helplessness of the victims in this home invasion. And like we kind of, like I brought up earlier, all the violence happens off screen for the most part. I mean, it's more about the psychological.
Right. Yeah. It's not gratuitous in the violence at all. It's like, it's more about the situation.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Which to me, like,
and uncomfortable and unsettling.
Yeah, but Michael Haneke was trying to say something about American horror films here, right? Like, and like make us, question our desire for these narratives.
To see killings, right? For sure.
Because there's multiple points where the perpetrators of this violence are, like he breaks. It's Paul in this, but he breaks. The fourth wall. He like looks directly at the camera, and then he starts talking to us, being like, "Is that enough? Do we need to do more? Like, does the story feel like it's over yet?" And then he takes it a step further. It's a I feel like they're being really smart with showing things off screen that invites your imagination, which as an audience member is to me, it's always more impactful to get someone to imagine.
That's always more rewarding,
right?
You know
like,
what I mean?
Yeah, like to fill in the gaps themselves a little bit, because what they think is usually going to be more terrifying than what you can show them.
Oh yeah, it's the Blair Witch effect, right? You know, like you don't show anything that's happening. Like you just hear screams, and then you can just imagine like a horrid scenario.
Right.
My Dinner with Andre.
Dude, actually, that's fair. All of my Dinner with Andre is like the conversation, you know, and
Only
like
the conversation.
and the visual shots are so like static in a way that like it encourages you to think of something and put it on top.
Yeah.
Damn, I haven't seen that yet. Is that good? Should I watch?
It's really good.
It's a good time. It's a very much like a play, you know, like more than a movie. But I say that as a good thing.
Period. Adding that to the watch list, the Letterboxd watch list.
A Letterboxd watch list. Yeah, that's another Criterion classic.
Is sponsored by Metabox.
Metabox.
Yeah, this movie, I mean, the plot is very simple. We've got like a 3-person family, kind of 2 older parents and a young kid, and they're going out to their beach house or their boat house for the weekend.
Yep.
When they're driving in, they see their neighbors.
No fair. Can't practice.
Right.
My Naomi Watts impression.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, what the fuck is she doing?
It's just confusing because
can't practice. What are you guys doing? Who are you with? It's like, shut up.
I love it though because
you don't need to comment.
Like if you know what's going on, something is up from the first scene.
That makes makes sense. It does make sense once you figure it out.
Good.
Like both of the guys who are about to kidnap the family are outside talking to the other family.
Yeah, my first impression was they don't like this bitch at all.
Right. But that's the thing.
Get a fucking clue, Naomi Watts. They don't fucking like it.
The film is so fresh that it is preying on your unsuspectingness, right? You're trying to get oriented with the world, and like all this is just rushing right by you, right? Especially because the guys are dressed in all white, you know, so and they have gloves on and they have golf clubs, so you assume that like they're just golfing. That
they're well-to-do.
Yeah, that they're not trying to cover up their fingerprints with gloves.
Yeah, right.
And also, if there's blood, there'd be blood all over the white clothing.
You know,
that's a good point.
Yeah. It's clean. They have a whole clean uniform. They've done nothing wrong.
Whoa, you know what? Okay, I'm jumping forward a little bit here, but they kill one of the 3 family members in the middle of the film, and they leave the scene of the crime. But they don't show them leaving. Do you think Tubby is like covered in blood, and like that's part of why they leave? Is like to go get them new clothes so that they can like continue their rampage on the next day.
My God.
Tubby's such a fucking
That'd be insane. Just saying. That's
Hey, that's a theory for sure. I do feel like that moment is so good too because I feel like they just. I don't know. We'll get to it later.
Yeah. I mean, we'll
classic.
Of course.
So much to say about this movie. It's just so good.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, we even get to that moment pretty early. That's part of why it works so well. Is that the pace of this thing? I mean, it's unrelenting. You know, the perpetrators are taking their time. You know, like enjoying the torment. They've set this timer for 12 hours. They're like, "Do you think you'll make it this long? Because we don't." And yeah, I mean, like, but what is so also menacing about it is how cordial they're being about the whole thing. That they're like they comment about how they like manners and they don't want the family to be fighting back at them.
They were so serious about it too. That was what made it funny games for me. That's what made the games a little so funny.
That's what I'm saying.
I felt their like sincereness. You know what I mean?
Right. Them as characters were kind of like I said, in some ways, they just know they're in a movie.
Yeah, well, exactly. I thought of it funny as in off, right? Like something's funny here, but yeah.
Oh, something's a little funny here.
Something's funny here.
These games are feeling a little funny to me.
Well, obviously, after they break your dad's kneecaps.
Yeah.
They're feeling a little funny for sure.
Yeah.
But
These games are not looking too good. Not
They get
looking
to
too
their
good
house.
games.
Ugh,
And,
not
like,
looking good.
They settle into their house and everything. I need to ask you guys a question. Do you think you could beat those two twinks up? Like, I think
Yes.
I could.
If I was the age of that kid, no.
That's yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
not him,
but if I was the dad,
That's what I'm saying, dude. We watched this together, and this is
Yeah.
exactly what I would say. They walked into my house and met my dad. You know, it would go a lot different. It would go a lot different.
how would it go down, Ben?
My dad would whoop those Swedish boys' asses straight up.
Fully believe.
And if
I
your
would
dad
too.
won't, if your dad couldn't, I feel bad for you, man. Your dad's a pussy, and so are you.
What kind of world are we living in where a dad can't
Yeah.
beat up two blonde
Oh,
twinks?
I'm sorry. Yeah, your dad can't beat up two Swedish pussies. My bad. My bad. My dad's a little bit different.
We did note that like he shoots his shot in the wrong way here.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
he slaps him.
Which is so true.
You know, like he gives him a little slap, and then they turn on him, throw him to the ground, and break his knee.
Like, a full tackle would have really helped.
Well,
in that moment.
just
anything.
take
Anything
a
would
punch.
help.
Like
Yeah.
if you are making this a physical alteration,
Which is with anything.
right? Like, and it's 2-on-1. Like,
Right.
you either need to wait for the wife. You know, you need to wait to take the punch. I think that this is all.
waiting for
Some
the
guys
lawyer
talking
to
about funny games is just like, could I take them on in this fight? Like, everyone
which
has to go through this scenario,
rightfully
right?
so.
I think
Because you have these people who are obviously trying to just stay in your house after you've clearly kicked them out.
Yeah.
And then you decide
Multiple
to
times.
slap them.
right.
Bro, like at that point, dog,
No,
you
it's
have
like
to
I'm
aim to
shutting
knock
you out.
one of them
Like,
out.
He's
Like, you
got the
have
golf
to-
clubs to his right. Like, those are open for anyone.
Yeah, they were
You know,
open for him.
like they weren't even holding it in the moment. Like, and they had it from before. I think that's what I love about this sequencing too. Is that like it is how quick it turns. You know.
it's really
Yeah.
quite an
The slow
embarrassment
burn.
for that guy.
Yeah.
And then he's
He starts with
useless.
eggs.
He is useless for the entire movie after that.
Yeah.
He doesn't do a damn thing.
Yeah.
Ooh, Tubby.
No.
No, the dad.
The dad.
Oh, the dad is useless.
Dad's the
All he
worst
can do
character
is
in that
drag his
movie.
phone.
That slap sealed his fate.
The dad's played by someone famous though. What's his name?
Something
here?
Roth.
Tim
Tim
Roth.
Roth.
Yeah, thank you.
Icon. He was good to me
Absolutely.
though. I liked him a lot, low key.
Yeah.
I liked his acting. I didn't really wasn't rooting for him to live, to be honest. But I was sad.
He got
sucked.
sad for sure. He definitely sat there and took it and was like,
Ah.
my leg, ah.
God, I know.
I do kind of I don't like that his character feels so inconsequential though. Like he's like
He's so incompetent.
he just agrees to everything. He's just like, yes,
Yeah.
sorry.
At one point he goes, "Take off your clothes." To his wife. I mean, dude. She's like, whatever.
Well, and that's what I'm saying is like that's the scene where it's like, yeah,
This guy sucks.
they're pushing his boundaries, and he doesn't step up for himself in any way.
Like
He
if
really does
Like he
not.
should have been the first one to die. He should have died immediately trying to fight and
I
defend his
know.
family.
Spoiler alert: the kid is the first one to die. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, well, so that
Is that
scene
dark?
that scene's insane just because you don't even see a killing coming.
Right. You don't know
Yeah.
what really happens. in that.
And also, like, yeah, your usual convention for a film is that they're not going to kill the kid first, or kill the kid at all.
Yeah. I love
Exactly.
And that makes you question what I was waiting for a kill, right? And also, like, it is the most harrowing thing that can happen to these people.
Right.
Like it for this film, it feels inevitable. I don't think this film gets made without the kid dying.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
the same points don't get made.
I do love how they like continuously just kind of go and make themselves sandwiches.
Well, yeah,
I like how
it's a long night.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
I know, but
They're
still.
just like
Hungry.
they're getting hungry. You know?
I don't know. I like the idea of just like an open fridge.
It is funny when Tubby is like, okay, like he goes to the kitchen, gets a snack, he eats the snack, all the while, you know, the other guy is like talking about the next menacing game, and he's like, "What do you think about making us dinner, though?" Before we get into this next funny game.
Like, they were genuinely asking too. They were like, "Can we please food maybe?" Like,
Tubby could have sold it if he just got up and was like, "Okay, next funny game, everyone move into the kitchen.
Yeah.
it's all kitchen games.
kitchen.
We're all gonna see who can make the best medium rare fillet."
Tubby's a meme lord, a Swedish meme lord.
What kind of music does Tubby listen to? Because like, is
we
he
all
on
know it's fucking EDM and shit, dude.
EDM,
like, of course they're listening to like
because they have that they have the death metal on or whatever type of
it's
metal
definitely.
rock
I think
this
he's
is.
definitely listening to like. He's listening to.
oh
a lot
yeah,
of, like,
I'm ready for this.
It's like that and The Sound of Music. You know,
Not that we're
he likes the classics, man.
none.
I'd be listening to The Sound of Music too if I was killing people.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of, you know, so like I was saying with the plot here, there's not, you know, it's just about the little ways they you know, these perpetrators start fucking with them. But essentially, it all starts with this initial game of, can I have 4 eggs? And then this Tubby character drops the eggs, and then he asks for 4 more. He goes outside, and then he claims that the dog jumped on him. And you know, like
he dropped the eggs again.
And in the meantime, he also takes out the cell phone, Naomi Watts' cell phone as collateral. Which it all just feels
like the sink.
It's awesome because it feels so innocuous. Like he actually does play all of this as just like an incompetent kind of kid. And like, I feel like it really builds so much empathy for Naomi Watts' character. Cause it's like, you think about that situation where it's like,
she's being a sweetheart.
well, when you get asked for 4 eggs, it's almost like it's almost too many eggs to
like, that's
ask
a lot of eggs.
Right, that is too
You know?
many eggs. You need 2 eggs.
And then
always.
well, just like exactly like what are you making that you need that? If you need that much, just go get it yourself, right?
Yeah.
But then the psychology of the next 4, it takes it over the half line on the carton. Like that's like an even bigger, like,
they keep jumping boundaries.
But like these minute social boundaries that they like start exploring and like dive into, like really set the tone for then like how horrifying they're gonna go and like in the nuances of what they're doing. With
my dad would have smashed these guys' heads in
with the eggs, right? Like,
yeah, with the eggs.
Like he would have.
I mean, there's just no way around it.
No, it really would be like a one and done sitch. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, however it plays out from there, fair enough, but at least it's going down. But, you know, not a slap. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, maybe that's the whole thing. It's like they're all in polite society because they're all rich, you know what I mean? So like
they absolutely are.
They can't just outright be like, get the fuck out of my house. They have to kind of hem and haw around it and be like, it would be nice if you left. Like, can you kick them out, please? Like,
no, but you nailed it because it's also the polite society is what lets these guys keep moving from house to house because the old house had a point where there was a gate between them and the perpetrators, right? They could have just yelled out, these guys are trying to kill us, right? They could have tried anything and they don't. Instead,
they're idiots.
They walk the killers to the next house. Like they hand them off. They're like, here you go. And then the same thing happens. Naomi Watts' character is on the dock, and some other neighbors, you know, sail by, and she introduces Paul to them, which is, you know, and then he asks, "Where's your house?" She tells him, and like she clocks it. She is sitting there, and she like knows, like, oh my God, they're gonna go to the next house after us,
right?
And like she does nothing.
Her whole address.
She says
she's
nothing.
like, I'm at the fucking cottage down the lake to the right. You make a left, and
like,
I'm like, nobody but like polite rich people would do this.
She could have found a reason to say something. She could have pushed, you know, Paul into the water and then been like, we got to get the fuck out of here. Like, there's so many ways that could have gone down. And like, granted, the people on the boat were old. So like, it wasn't like, it was another question of physicality. Like, could any of these people stop, you know, the actual people? But, that, you know, there's just, I love that there's avenues out for these characters to take, and none of them choose to do it. And because of that, they seal their own fates.
Yeah.
Also, it doesn't even matter because she fucking shoots him in one scene and he just rewinds it.
All he needs to do,
yeah. I mean, well, that's the beauty of like Paul as God in this movie, right? Like they're not gonna let you get through this movie with a catharsis. Like you need that little bit of relief, but the moment they undo it, you're kind of like, this isn't
heartbroken again.
This isn't the type of film that was gonna let me get that victory.
No.
It did feel unearned when that gun went off. As much as I wanted it to happen,
It felt satisfying.
You know, it was so satisfying.
but it wouldn't have been a full story without it.
Yeah.
If she like actually like went through with it. But it's kind of just like, you know, it's like this whole movie is meant to torture us, the audience, you know what I mean? Like meant to be like, this is uncomfortable, but like this is what you paid to see and you wanted to see this. So like and you can't have like a happy ending, unfortunately. We're gonna give you the bad ending that's gonna make you feel bad. Like and you deserve it, and it's pretty cool. I don't know.
I was going to talk about the scene where they reveal the dead dog.
Let's get into that.
Oh my god!
So I'm gonna lay out the.
We want to talk about fathers.
Talk about these dead dogs. And
talking about fathers being able to take them. Let them try that with my fucking dog.
Oh,
and my dog will. Bro, my dog will fuck them up.
Your dog would stop that from happening.
My dog and my dad would destroy those two Swedish guys.
My dog and my dad versus that dog and that dad.
My dad and my dog will destroy the Swedish guys.
I buy it.
My dog would at least bite him.
Yeah, put up a little bit of a fight, draw some blood.
Pretty big.
No, but that
definitely draw blood.
Oh yeah.
The reveal.
The reveals. Yeah, I mean. One of the crueler funny games, right? It's like they're actually playing a game. They're like warmer, colder until the wife finds where the dog is, and the dog's in the car.
Driving.
Well, actually, in the original, the dog is in the driver's seat, and she opens the door, and it's a German Shepherd, so it's a very big dog, and the dog falls on top of the wife.
Oh my god!
And like on her, and she's like, and then she pushes it off. Like it's fucked up.
I feel like if they had a German Shepherd for this one, it would be like, oh yeah, well the German Shepherd would easily take those guys.
Right.
You
know, it makes sense. A German Shepherd's like a guard dog, you know. And then this one, it's a golden retriever. She opens the trunk and it slides off the trunk and onto the floor, which is also devastating the way it's shot. Still has a very good impact here. I just think there was something about the terror of it being on her in the first one that I was like, oh, that was
like infinitely worse for sure.
Yeah.
Like just infinitely sadder too.
Oh yeah, but and the reveal of that is so good too, because it's this whole bit early on where they try to grab the golf clubs, and he's acting like he's gonna go take a shot with a golf club or with a golf ball, and he's just going off to kill the dog. These guys have planned everything, every part of this this invasion. Like they just have a routine that they do when they hit up a house.
I love them. I love their rituals.
It's great.
I support the funny games killers.
But also, like, I love that they never tied down what their motivation is. There's a scene early on where they say, "Why are you doing this?" And they give like 5 different backstories of like, oh, it's because it's the Michael Myers story. Like, literally, is one of the backstories. My daddy was mean to me, like, and I was abused as a kid. Bullshit. Like, and like they go through it all. Oh, I'm a rich kid and I don't whatever. And it's like whatever one of these stories works for you. But that's one of the first like fourth wall breaks too in the movie is saying to the audience, like, you pick your own backstory, whatever works for you. Like,
it's a choose your own adventure kind of movie. It's like Bandersnatch. A little bit like Bandersnatch.
This movie is kind of like Bandersnatch.
It's kind of like Bandersnatch. Bandersnatch.
Bandersnatch.
I'm gonna everything I see, I'm gonna compare it to Black Mirror's Bandersnatch.
Yeah.
As good as Bandersnatch?
It's like one of the timelines in Bandersnatch.
Does it let you choose your own adventure? Or no, because then I don't really want to watch it.
I'm kind of a choose-your-own-adventure movie guy.
Yeah, not really going to watch that, though. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch it.
I'm not going to watch that movie, never.
Damn. I love funny games, guys. That was such a good watch. Like, I needed that.
It's actually the right level of bleak. I say this as someone who doesn't like gratuitous gore and like
it's gratuitously
terror.
Uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, it is uncomfortable, but it's also like the film is well made. Like, this is in the Criterion collection for a reason. Like, I think they're the way the shots are set up.
Criterion collection.
I mean, there's a 10-minute one shot take, or I think it might
I love
be
the
15
boat scene.
minutes, but
Beautiful.
But that 15-minute one shot in the middle of the film where they're grieving over their dead boy is insane. I mean, that is the type of shot that like you sit with and you think it's a different type of horror film than something that is just like Rob Zombie's Halloween. I mean, really, it's a great pairing to just be like, that's a slasher. They're just kind of killing people in a rote way at a lot of the intersections. But every time violence comes into the picture, in this, it is a very, dialed in tone. They just know exactly what element they're focusing on and drawing at. Yeah,
it's like serious, like it's really affecting them.
Yeah, it's just,
and the fact that they have to like push on, and they have to be like, okay, we have to now focus on getting out of the house, even though our son just like got his head exploded.
Yeah,
I was tense.
Well, and and I love that, like the fact that like the film has an hour left and you feel like you have no idea what's going to happen. Like you're literally like, how does this go down? Yeah. I mean, so that's the right kind of uneasiness that you want. I'm like, that's pretty much all I got on the film too.
Yeah,
we got one more thing to bring up with this film, though, an important question.
What you got?
Because this is what this movie is basically all about, is just, can you survive what these guys throw at you?
Right.
Can your dad or dog survive as well? It's like an important question asked throughout the film. But then how they kill the Naomi Watts is they tape her legs and hands together and throw it overboard.
Oh, yeah.
Could you get to shore?
Oh my God. Yeah, that's right.
So I think I could.
We were talking about this. I actually said I think I could just because I was a swimmer for many years, but I don't know if I'm in the shape right now.
No.
With the will to survive, dude.
You only can shift. You can just do the full, basically the butterfly stroke without the arms. Is all you could do. But your mouth is taped and your nostrils are open. So if you get water,
you have to do the backstroke
in your like mouth, like
you have to go backwards and kick backwards.
Yeah, I mean backstroke, kick, float through, might work.
Yeah, I don't. I do think that would be the one that would get me for sure. Yeah. Unfortunately,
I survived everything else. The shotgun to the face, pretty much everything else.
You're like, I would strip. I would make the burgers. I would do everything.
Yeah, I would eat a shotgun blast to the face, but then once they tape my hands and feet together and throw me overboard,
that's kind of where
game over.
Probably lose that game.
Yeah,
I'm built a bit different than you guys. I feel like I could get that shot to the face. I was
Oh, don't get me twisted. I also think I could eat that.
Good. I think we all could.
I think the important
my head would be blown off and then it would reform and then they'd be like, "Oh my gosh," and I'd be like, "That's right."
And then you'd be like, "I'm joining you boys. I got the power."
One up by his throat and just evaporate him into thin air.
Now who's the funny games, huh?
Hey Tubby, want to play a game? How's this for funny games? How's this for a reboot?
Hey Tubby, ha ha.
Yeah, ha ha. Yeah.
Choke and kill.
Then I watched the Joker movie.
In silence.
A truly funny game.
But wait, I do think all three of us, if we were in our Hamptons vacation house, if these two twinks came to us and tried to kill us, I think we could overpower them, honestly. Like,
bro, immediately be like, "I told you to get out, get the fuck out." Like,
and then they like try and get the golf club, and I'm like, "Oh shit!"
And I would start getting like worried, and I would. But it'd be fighter. It would start getting to be fight or flight.
If it was us three in the house, it would not go down like this. These guys would show up with some weed, and like some beers, and be like, "Oh yo, oh shit, we thought this was our friend's house. Oh shit," and then we'd be like, "Oh come on, you can come in. You got beer." And then all of a sudden,
I'm always a little shaky around new people, anyways.
I'm just saying it'd be more like a traditional like slasher home invasion.
But then it's like, what would they get us with?
It'd be like over the course of an hour, we'd be like, something's up with these
What, the
guys.
the golf club to the knee, dude?
I think they would wait till we're asleep. Or like all like greened out, like
they'd have
just
to
like
leave.
like fucking like passed out.
This would just be out of my house overnight.
How did that happen?
No, sorry.
Nah, I'm not letting them in.
No, I've seen Midsummer. It's creepy. Sorry, Swedish people, creepy.
I appreciate it, Ben. You got a good stranger radar.
You got a good sense of racism on you, Ben.
Yeah.
The not liking Swedish people is very.
You've been fucked up the right
safe.
way from movies.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. You know just who to keep out in distance.
Right, yeah.
I feel it.
That's why I'm not going to
right
Midsummer Town. No, siree. Nah, I'd go there.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not going to like the white people cults. For sure. It's definitely a recipe for disaster.
All right. Well, everyone.
The funniest game was the friends we made along the way.
It really was.
The funniest part about funny games is, man, this guy's dad was a joke. If it was my pops, be done for. Two Swedish guys.
It's like, have you ever seen that Mark Wahlberg interview where he was like, if I was on the plane on September 11th, things would have gone down differently.
Oh, yeah. Which is fucking crazy.
Yes. I love it.
It probably would have went down a little bit differently.
I mean, yeah, the news would have been like, Mark Wahlberg's dead. Also, 9/11 happened.
Mark Wahlberg, I guess, tried to fight him off.
He came close, but no cigar.
We should just make the Mark Wahlberg time travel movie where he's trying to stop 9/11.
Take down rebel soldiers.
Oh, he's going to.
Like live, die, repeat with Mark Wahlberg, just reliving 9/11 every day until he stops it.
It's like, yeah, I would take down the people from 9/11 just like I took down that Chinese guy. It's no big fucking deal. Exactly. Get me in that plane. I'll beat him up just like I beat up the Chinese guy.
I actually do believe that he would have gone ham. Would have gone fucking ham on those terrorists.
Why not? Why the fuck would he not?
The plane still would have crashed because he doesn't know how to fly a plane. But
he would have opened up the emergency doors on the side and shit and been like, "Oh yeah, we're all going down. Yeah. Fuck you!" Like something,
like jumps off.
I don't know.
He would have done something. Who knows?
Did that guy have a parachute?
Maybe they would love Mark Wahlberg so much. They're like, oh, Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, you guys seen The Departed?
Oh, Four Brothers.
Departed hadn't come out by then.
I don't know if
you guys like Boogie Nights?
Yeah, is that the only movie he was in at the time?
Yeah.
They're like, honestly, I love Boogie Nights. We can't do this.
It's like, guys, I'm Dirk Diggler. You can't crash this into the...
I've never seen Boogie Nights. This sounds so fucking dumb, though. Dirk Diggler.
I haven't either, but I know his name was Dirk Diggler.
His name was Dirk Diggler.
What is this, Holes?
Everything is Holes.
Ayo.
Every movie is Holes.
Right. Damn. I'm Dirk Diggler, and I'm actually not in Holes, so...
I'm Dirk Diggler.
I'm in Boogie Nights.
Well, he got into some holes, if you know what I'm talking about.
I think he got into
I don't know. I haven't seen Boogie Nights. I guess, yeah. Mark Wahlberg was having gay sex. It probably would have made him so mad.
And straight sex, too.
It made him so mad he had to go beat up that Chinese guy. Story of Mark Wahlberg.
I don't think he needed any excuse to beat up a non-white person. I think he was ready to go jump. Unfortunately,
that's what set him off.
That's what appealed him about.
That's what set him on.
He was like, you mean I could beat some non-white people up?
Yeah.
He's like,
and they'll call me a patriot? Fuck yeah.
That's why it's crazy to hear that he was doing, that his character was doing gay sex scenes. Doesn't seem like his style.
It was like the first movie he made. That wasn't really his. It's an art house film, and he renounces it now.
Yeah, exactly.
But
the one thing he won't renounce.
What's up?
He renounces Boogie Nights?
Yeah, he doesn't like his performance in it or the film. Like he like regrets making it from like a Catholic perspective.
Yeah, I know. He's
like God will never forgive me for doing Boogie Nights, but he'll forgive me for doing like 20 films about like fighting in the Iraq War or like whatever.
He's not going to renounce his hate crimes, but he'll renounce he'll renounce Boogie Nights.
Exactly. Like since when does he give a fuck what the movies he's in say?
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Right.
Anyways, thank you so much for coming, PJ.
Thanks for having me.
So glad we could have a master of horror on the pod.
I try. I try my best.
Ben, I appreciate it, my man.
Yes, sir. Go check out the Fool's Journey podcast on Spotify, on Patreon, on whatever. Just Google it or something. It doesn't matter to me.
Great riffing, hanging out vibes. Just you and Quinn Shields usually shooting the shit. I mean, they're great episodes. I'm on a few. Yeah, Lewis is a guest on a few. Comedy podcast. I don't know. I'm not gonna fucking explain it to you. Go watch that shit or don't. I don't care. It's good.
I'm gonna do it regardless because I have to talk constantly or I die. Perpetual motion. That's how we get things done. Thank you for having me, man.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.